So this is your feedback for evaluation question 3. What have you learned from your audience feedback? So this is good that you've got your initial introduction. So before you launch into it, one thing that I think it seems to be a common omission from all the ones I've seen so far, so we may not have made this very clear, but if we look at jump scare, one of the things you could consider is in their evaluation there's discussion about the preliminary piece of research they did. So if you remember, under your pre-production, you've got your audience research here. So the question's asking you about what you've learned from your audience feedback. That includes the audience research you did right at the start. And what we want to be looking for here is that you can make the connections between what you learned at the start to how you used that, and how your learning has been based upon what you found out from your initial audience. So where you ask them things like, what colour scheme do you think we should use, what characters should we go with, what title, all those kind of basic questions you asked at the start, those expectations. It's about going through initially, because the rest of what you've done is all good, but it's about having here in this first section, after your intro, the initial research you did, and then how you've used that to build the product. So it would be showing me how you've got, for example, the locations in your final product that you asked them about in your audience research at the start. It's about showing me how you've used the colours in your final work that you asked them about in the very first bit. So what I would suggest is, because obviously there's 3 of you, you just cover that between the 3 of you. So one does the initial audience feedback on magazine, another one does the poster, another one does the trailer. Okay, so that's an improvement there, which would make a significant difference to your marks. As we look through then, so you talked about SurveyMonkey. Okay, good. I like the way you've got the commentary there. That's very nice. I can click through it all, and there's a mini conclusion. Okay, so that's nice. We move on to the poster feedback by Animata. Again, very nice. It looks like we've got some stuff here from a different social network. It does need to be more commentary on this, is the only thing. And also I would expect in this section to be able to see like where you've put like the image and the colour stood out most, and where you've written this. I'd like to see some examples of these things on the work itself, so we should be putting the poster, the magazine and the trailer in the relevant sections as well. So this is all good, and you've got a kind of conclusion that, you've said it was kind of successful. That's fair enough. What about any changes that you've made though between showing this online and actually handing the finished work in? Like, have you gone back and changed anything? If so, we should be documenting that here as well, again for the extra marks, to talk about what we've learned from it. The poster feedback, not quite as detailed as I was expecting here. I was expecting more of a commentary here. This isn't a great deal on this, to be honest. So I think there needs to be a lot more commentary here. I'd only really be able to give that probably like a sort of D-, E+. The next section, this is good. You've got your analytics. Again, we should have something here where you're explaining all this though, because this doesn't mean anything otherwise. It's just a picture. So we should have some stuff on there that's going into this in more detail. Again, I don't know what this means. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what any of this means. You need to be commenting on each of these things. I'd also suggest that you present it in a more presentable way like this, where you've got that stuff on there, or even put it in an emaze. Just something other than just images, because this is quite basic as to where we are at the moment. Yeah, this is a good though. I like that. That's nice. Probably need more text. Again, just holding this up at what you're comparing it to. Look, there's quite a lot of text on this, where you've got your commentaries on the different areas. This section not so much. That's what the student got marked down for it. But certainly like these kind of things here, the analysis. Okay, so just looking at this, it's difficult to tell who's done what. I'm presuming that Animata, you did this bit, and then this was Megan here, but obviously there's no names on it, so it's quite difficult. So overall, I'd say at the moment I'm a bit concerned that this contribution here is a bit weak. This one's okay, but again, we're not referring to anything in terms of what we've learnt from this, because I can see the third question's that, so this is unfinished. What have you learnt from this is the question, and again these are unfinished here as well, and there's no conclusion. So I'll probably be saying that this section here as well is probably around the sort of E plus sort of area, because it's not really telling us a lot. So to move it forward, obviously you have to address with more detail. I think in terms of creativity, we don't have much in terms of the evidence of what you asked them or what we found out. We've already spoken about the fact that the initial research is missing. And if you notice here, the A grade work includes videos as well, yeah, of where we got inspiration from and stuff like that. But also fundamentally, there's a lot more evidence that they've put this stuff on social networking besides just relating to SurveyMonkey. Also, they've done these reaction videos, which again help them achieve the higher grades. There's one for each. There's one for the trailer, there's one for the poster, and there's one for the magazine. And they also got the students to fill in the questionnaires. So I think we need to do more to embrace this. At the moment, I'd say overall we're probably looking really at a kind of D minus, because it is quite basic in terms of how you're presenting it. We're not really including a great width of research, and there's a lack of conclusions to actually explain what we've learnt about from this.